Okay, so I'm back again with another video, and I want to talk about the death of, or really the murder of Bobbi Kristina. Let me just say this word here, and everybody says this in their videos, and I'm learning to say this too, not to copy off anybody, but you know how motherfuckers are. Let me say alleged murder. Let me say it that way, because people will try to, throw legal shit at you or whatever the case may be. Let me just say alleged murder of Bobbi Kristina. First of all, I think that people have to grow up and get out of this fairy tale bullshit when they think of celebrities and, you know, their integrity or lack thereof, or whatever the case may be. Sometimes people just get caught the fuck up. Sometimes people just get caught the fuck up. And then sometimes people just do things in a calculated manner. But in order to make it in that industry, a lot of times, if you don't have a strong spiritual, force or backing, a lot of times you do have to make sacrifices. You do, in order to get to the levels of fame and success that is considered mega and iconic. Okay? Now, a lot of people may get their feathers ruffled when I say this, but I'm only telling you what I see. On my old channel, I had it all wrong. Well, I didn't have it wrong, but I wasn't seeing things clearly, you see. See, a lot of shit is being exposed now up under this new energy and vibration. A lot of shit is coming to light. A lot of people are seeing things who are really spiritual and spiritualists that have been concealed and hidden. Okay? Let's talk about Bobbi Kristina and Whitney Houston. See, everyone, including myself at one time, everyone was so quick to blame, Pat Houston and, this person and that person and this person and this person and that person for the death of Bobbi Kristina. Has anyone ever considered that Whitney Houston was responsible for the sacrifice of her own daughter, Bobbi Kristina? Has anyone ever considered that possibility? Let me take it a little bit further, and I'll tell you why I'm thinking this. Whitney Houston I'm going to say this out of respect, and let me throw in the word allegedly. Let me throw that in there too, because you know how motherfuckers are. Whitney Houston, let me go back. Anything that I'm saying, it's all allegedly. Let me just put it that way. Then that way, can't nobody come at me with no legal shit, because we live in that age now where you have to say that again. Allegedly. Everything I'm saying is allegedly, okay? But anyway, Whitney Houston, in the very beginning of her career, she took an oath that if she were to ever have a child, that child would be a sacrifice, and that child would live only 22 years. Okay? That was her oath. She took that oath. But what happened was, as Bobbi Kristina, when Bobbi Kristina was born in 1993, okay, Whitney realized that she could not go through with it. She realized she could not go through with the sacrifice. That is why her career went down the tubes, because she reneged on the sacrifice of her daughter. And then there were other things going on with her as well. It wasn't just that. It was a combination of things. But that was one of the reasons why her career started to go down the toilet, because she began to have conscious pangs or she began to resist what she knew she had to do. She had to sacrifice her own daughter. And the closer Bobbi Kristina got to the age of 22, the more Whitney spiraled out of control. And you know, a lot of people say that um, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of people say that the day that Whitney Houston died in 2012, a lot of people say that Bobbi Kristina, that was the day she was supposed to die actually. But Whitney Houston took her place or something like that. I don't know about that, but that's what was said allegedly. Okay. The closer Bobbi Kristina got to the age of 22, which was the age that she was supposed to be taken out, and she was, Whitney spiraled out of control. Again, a lot of people say that in 2012, in February, when Whitney died, a lot of people say that that is when Bobbi Kristina was really supposed to die. But it was actually 3 years later that Bobbi Kristina was supposed to die. And you can tell when you break down her birthday, the year of her birthday, 1993, it comes out to 22. But then when you lower it down to the single digit, it comes out to number 4. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the number 4 means mind, body, spirit, and soul, or whatever the case may be. So you can see within the numerical year that she was born, 22 was the age that she was supposed to die. And that is when she died. It's not a coincidence that she died by water, and so did her mother. Now, here's where things get interesting. Allegedly, she died by water. And I'm going to tell you why I'm saying allegedly. There are some videos that were posted on YouTube a few years back where people were saying that Bobbi Kristina did not die from the drowning in her Georgia townhouse. They were saying that she actually was starved, and she was denied food and drink while she was in the hospital. Okay? I think there's a video on YouTube of a healer, a black man who's a healer, who wanted to give her some kind of herbs or something to heal her. And the doctors at the hospital that she was, admitted to, where she was, they wouldn't let him do it. And I was hearing that she was actually starved, allegedly, and she was very dehydrated. And that is how she actually died. They basically tortured her. They allowed her to live dehydrated, and they allowed her to starve until she withered away. And that right there tells me that was an entire motherfucking ritual where they were pulling on her motherfucking energy. They were pulling on her fucking energy, and they kept pulling her fucking energy until she died. Now that's what was said. But the occult view of this, Whitney Houston, this is what I see. Whitney Houston made a deal to sacrifice her own daughter. We have to be real about what the fuck really goes on in this motherfucking industry. Yes, I liked Whitney Houston's music too. Yes, I loved her voice. Do I think she was a bad person? No, I just think she got caught up. I think that at the beginning of her career, she thought that she could deal with the fact that she sacrificed her own daughter. But I think as the years went on, she regretted it and she began to feel guilty. And as I stated earlier, the closer Bobbi Kristina got to the age of 22, which was supposed to be her death, and it was, I think that Whitney began to spiral more and more out of control. I don't think that she really wanted to sacrifice her daughter. I don't think she really wanted to do that, but she had already put the series of events in place. And it's almost like when you unleash, I've heard this saying too, if you unleash a flood, how do you stop it? It has to take its fucking course. And if you take an oath in that fucking industry and they tell you, you know, or whatever deities that these motherfuckers are taking oaths to and making deals with, and if they say, listen, this is the sacrifice, this is what we want in order for you to get to this level and have this amount of fame, this is what we want, they're going to get it. Can't renege on it. So she reneged on it. Her career went down the drain, and her family, they know this shit. Pat Houston is the fucking scapegoat. Everyone wants to blame Pat Houston, but Pat Houston don't have that type of motherfucking power and pull. It ain't Pat Houston's fault. Pat Houston was just a fucking assistant. The person that was behind it, that put these series of events in place long before she died, was Whitney Houston. It was Whitney Houston. They told her, if you ever have a child, that child will be the sacrifice. And she reneged on it. She reneged on it. So, because she reneged on it, they took her out because she probably was trying to stop it. She was probably trying to do something to stop it, which is what I'm saying. She tried to stop it. That is why her behavior was so erratic around the time that she died. Because she knew what was coming 3 years into the future for her daughter, Bobbi Kristina. Because Bobbi Kristina died in 2015. Whitney Houston died in 2012. That's not a coincidence. Especially when you look at it from an occult point of view. That's not a coincidence. Because everybody is talking about, oh, it's, and I was like that too, but I had to look at things from a different perspective. See, a lot of times the motherfuckers that sacrifice you are the closest people to you. I'm gonna make a video about Patti LaBelle too. I know a lot of people not gonna like that because how dare somebody talk about Patti LaBelle? Well, I'm gonna talk about her, and I don't give a fuck who gets offended. Don't give a fuck. This is the occult view, aka Sia Grant. You know, and that's what I do. I look beyond the fake glamour, which is a form of witchcraft, as we all know in the occult. You know, but Whitney Houston sacrificed Bobbi Kristina. She did it. She sacrificed her. And then she changed her mind. But it was too late. It was too late. That's all I have to say for right now. I've been wanting to talk about that for a minute. Hope you enjoyed the video. And I'm out.